Hello, it's Wednesday the 22nd of April and I'm going to start a reading series today in the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel actually, and obviously we're going to start with chapter 1, and there's a few fun words in this chapter, so that will be nice just to have to pronounce them. 1 Samuel chapter 1. There was a certain man of Ramathim, a Zophite from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Jehoram, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zoph, an Ephraimite. He had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Now this man used to go up year by year from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts at Shiloh, where the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were priests of the Lord. On the day where Elkanah sacrificed, he would give portions to his wife Peninnah and to all of her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he gave a double portion, because he loved her, though the Lord had closed her womb. Her rival used to provoke her severely to irritate her, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it went on year by year. As often as she went up to the house of the Lord, she used to provoke her. Therefore Hannah wept and would not eat. Her husband Elkanah said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? Why is your heart sad? Am I not more to you than 10 sons? After they had eaten and drunk at Shiloh, Hannah rose and presented herself before the Lord. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat beside the doorpost of the temple of the Lord. She was deeply distressed and prayed to the Lord and wept bitterly. She made this vow, O Lord of hosts, if you only look on my misery, the misery of your servant, and remember me, and forget not your servant, but will you give your servant a male child, then I will set him before you as a Nazarite until the day of his death. He shall neither drink wine nor take intoxicants, and no razor shall touch his head. As she continued to pray before the Lord, Eli observed her lips moving. Hannah was praying silently, and her voice was not to be heard, and Eli thought she was drunk. So Eli said to her, How long will you make a drunken spectacle of yourself? Put away your wine. But Hannah answered, No, my lord. I am a woman deeply troubled. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. Do not regard your servant as a worthless woman, for I have been speaking out of my great anxiety and vexation all this time. Then Eli answered, Go in peace. The God of Israel grant the petition you've made him. And she said, Let your servant find favour in your sight. Then the woman went to her quarters and ate and drank with her husband, and her countenance was sad no longer. They rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and then they went back to their house at Ramah. Elkanah knew his wife, and the Lord remembered her. In due time she conceived and bore a son. She named him Samuel, for she said, I have asked him of the Lord. The man Elkanah and all his household went up to offer to the Lord yearly sacrifice and to pay his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, As soon as the child is weaned, I will bring him, and then he will appear in the presence of the Lord and remain there forever. I will offer him as a Nazarite for all time. Her husband Elkanah said, Do what seems best to you. Wait until you have weaned him. Only may the Lord establish his word. So the woman remained and nursed her son until she weaned him. When she weaned him, she took him up with her along with a 3-year-old bull, an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine. She brought him to the house of the Lord at Shiloh, and the child was young. They slaughtered the bull and brought the child to Eli. And she said, Oh, my Lord, as you live, my Lord, I am the woman who was standing in your presence praying to the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me the petition I made to him. Therefore I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he is given to the Lord. She left the child there for the Lord. It took Hannah great faith in a time of great pain to make that offering. It's easy for us to offer and make promises to God in tough times, and it's not always easy for us to follow through. But Hannah did that. Hannah had longed for a son, and when she had a son, she knew that God had done that, so she gave him to the Lord's service. It's a strong example from a strong woman who faced difficult times from her rival. I hope her story encourages you today as it encourages me. I want us to pray together now, so let's just have a moment's quiet. Lord, when Jesus came to our world, he didn't tell us to make vows. He said, let our yes be yes and our no be no. Help us, Lord, to do the things that we've promised to you. Help us, Lord, not to be rash. Help us not to say things on one side of our face and then act out of the other, as two-faced people will do. But help us, Lord, to make our promises to you and to fulfill them. Lord, as people come to this day, they've all got different challenges. Lord, as you met with Hannah and helped Hannah, so is your desire to meet with us and to help us. Help us wherever we are, whatever situation we're in. Some of us are in our home, some of us are working in our home, some of us are working in hospitals, in schools, some of us are doing deliveries, working in shops. Some of us have since finished working on our jobs and now are working on our retirements. Wherever we are, Lord, your days are not done with us, Lord, while we yet breathe. Help us these days of our lives to worship you in spirit and in truth. Amen. God bless you today.